For this exercise, lie on your back, and then what you're going to do is bring one leg over and across your body to the opposite side. So my right knee, for example, is coming over to my left side, and I'm pulling with my left hand so I can stretch everything as much as possible. This is going to get a stretch from my hip up to my low back, even into my mid back. Make sure the shoulders stay squared up towards the ceiling and don't rotate over. Hold and then come on off. You're going to make this a dynamic movement where you're actually moving back and forth. So pull. You may even get a couple of cracks in your low back, mid back. That's okay. And keep going back and forth. From the side, this is going to look like this, where you're here, rotating over with your leg, keeping the shoulder on the floor, stretch, and then come back. And just go back and forth with this. Here's a great little mobility drill, especially if you have a little bit of an ache in your low back or you're sitting for a long period of time. This gets your back moving into both flexion, which is rounding, and then extension, which is arching. So if you find a wall, put your arms up against the wall. What you're first going to do is drop your hips in towards the wall. So you're arching your back within your comfort levels. So if this hurts you, come a little bit less. And then you're going to push back into this rounded position. So you can see how my low back is rounding now. And I'm just going to go back and forth. Nice and slowly, but you're getting the back to move in positions that it doesn't usually move.
So in this exercise, I'm going to be lying on my back, relaxed, and I'm gently just letting my knees kind of drop out and my body and my lower back to just kind of rotate from side to side. I'm trying to just make this motion very smooth, very controlled, and easy, and very calm. So basically, I'm going to start with my feet on the ground, my knees bent, and then my hands can be out to the side, and I'm just going to let my knees drop out to the side. And as my knees go further and further out, it's then going to lift my hips up, which then also rotates my lower back. And again, you're going to go into whatever range of motion you feel comfortable with. That may mean that you're going to the right, and you're like, right there, I'm just going to stop there, even though I can go further. That's totally okay. We're just trying to introduce some gentle motion into your back and having your knees kind of drive that motion from side to side.
So with this exercise, we're just going through our hip rotation range of motion. So if I drop my knees to the left this way, my left hip is going through external rotation, and my right hip is going through internal rotation. I'm letting my feet lift up off the ground. You don't have to keep your shoes or the bottom of your feet flat on the ground. I'm just moving through what feels comfortable right now, letting both of my hips move through rotation. So as I go through this movement that I talked about earlier, external here, internal here, it's just vice versa when I go to the right. I'm moving through what feels comfortable for me. With this exercise, you may feel a little stretching on the outside of your hips, even movement in your low back. That's okay. Just getting the hips moving through rotation, both directions. Okay, so with this stretch, you're going to get set up in a seated position. Be seated on something sturdy that you feel comfortable with, where you can put all your weight through it and you have your feet supported on the ground. I personally like to do this stretch with my feet all the way together and my knees together, but that doesn't mean that you have to do that. You can mess around with the width of your foot position. You can go wider, you can go narrow. Mix it up and do what feels best for you. Now, if I want to stretch the right side of my back, with my right hand, I'm going to place it outside my left thigh, and I'm going to run it down the outside of my left leg, reaching for my heel as my upper body, my chest,